Welcome to this Qigong practice for longevity of your joints and, of course, your energy. We'll begin with a practice called spinal cord breathing. We're going to open up the chest and then bring the elbows and fists together and round your back. Take an inhale as you open the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and an exhale as you round your back, sinking your chest back and tucking your tailbone. Trying to mobilize all the joints of the spine here, linking it with the breath. Nice, long, deep breaths through the nose. Good one to get the cerebrospinal fluid moving and loosen up the vertebra. Let's press now, left hand down, right hand up, and give yourself a twist to your left, looking over the left shoulder as those hands reach away. Come back to the center, switch the hands, and now press left up, right down, and twist to your right, trying to twist mostly in the spine and less in the legs. Back to the center, inhale, exhale, press. Hold the breath out as you twist to the side of the lower hand. Back to the center, inhaling, hands come back to shoulder height, and exhale as you press. And either keep exhaling or hold the breath out as you twist. Then inhale back to the center. And exhale, press down. So we've opened the spine front and back, and also in a twist. Now let's open side to side. Reaching the hands up, tucking your tailbone, knees bent. This one's called picking cherries. We reach one hand up at a time. Looking for some length along the side waist and ribs, and then especially along the sides of the lower spine. This helps to free up this area we call the yao, which is the muscles and sinews of the lower back and side waist. When we free up this area, we free up the flow of qi to the kidneys and adrenals, which has a lot to do with our longevity. Let's lean the head to one side and slowly nod the head back and forth. The palms are pressed down and away about 45 degrees down from the shoulders. We're spreading through the fingers and looking for a stretch up one arm towards the side of the neck. So you feel like your crown of your head and the hand on one side are reaching away from each other. Then you can roll to the other side and just start to nod back and forth over the other shoulder, looking for the stretch down the opposite arm and opposite side of the neck. And you can inhale as you roll back and exhale as you roll forward to link the breath here. Good. Shake it out. Take your hands on the hips and we'll begin to circle the hips, preparing for an exercise we call teacups. It's a great exercise for mobility and fluidity in the joints of the hips, lower spine, shoulder, elbow, and wrist. Beginning just with the hips. And circle the other direction. They say in Qigong we move in a way that mirrors nature. Nature doesn't move typically in a linear way like we do in a bench press or a squat. Nature is typically moving in circles, waves, spirals. And so we mimic that in Qigong because our body comes from nature. We move it in a natural way to create more balance, more resilience, more mobility. So here you can see the right hand on the hip, the left hand palm face up. The hand comes into the hip, back behind you, out to the side, and then over the head. As we do this, we're circling the hips. So as the hand comes by the hip, you're going to move the hip over to the right to get it out of the way. Then the hips go back, left, forward, right. Back, left, forward, right. Your hand is continuously palm face up as though you are balancing a cup of tea in the hand. This helps us to keep angling the shoulder joint in these sort of awkward positions which forces us to utilize all our nice stabilizer muscles throughout the shoulder joint especially. We'll go the other direction, coming forward over the head and forward by the hip. Back where we started, forward over the head, hand comes in front, then behind, and then forward from the hip, like we're serving the tea. Our hips go left, back, right, forward. Left, back, right, forward. So again, the hips circle as the hand spirals, and the palm is face up as though we were balancing a cup of tea, trying not to spill it. Now, if this is your first time doing this, don't worry. Or even if it's your second or third time, don't worry if you're not getting it right away. These exercises help us create coordination in the body, and they can take some time to learn. Now step back with your left foot. Press your left hand out to the side in a hook hand with the fingers and thumbs touching, and your right hand forward about 45 degrees. Now really curling the left wrist, lean your head over towards your right shoulder and start to nod your head back and forth over the shoulder like you're trying to reach the crown of the head away from the back of the left hand. Again, I'm mirroring you here. So we're looking for a stretch from the back of the left hand, up the back of the left arm, up to the side of the neck. Step back to the center, press down. And we'll find the other side, taking the left hand on the hip, the right palm face up. Let's go our first direction. So our cup of tea coming in, back, right, and over the head. And back where we started. Out the hips. Hips go left, back, right, forward, left, back, right, forward. Hips go left, make space for the hand to pass by the hip. Hips go forward because we're leaning back like the cup of tea was going to hit us in the head, and we lean back like we were in the Matrix, dodging the teacup. So you should find yourself looking up towards the ceiling as the cup comes over the head. Good, back where we started. Let's go the other direction. So now starting with coming from behind and forward over the head, in front, behind, and spiral by the hip. Coming forward like we're serving tea, then back where we started. Over the head, hips go right, hips go back, hips go left, hips go forward. So again, the hips, when they go left, the hand should be spiraling by the hip, because as they move left, it makes that gap there, that space for the hand to pass. If you ever get lost with the hip to hand coordination, just remember that point. Hip should be moving out of the way of the hand as it passes the hip. A really nice one for some stability and mobility in the shoulder, hip, lower spine, wrist, elbow. Good, and let's get back to that stretch on the other side now. Step back with your right foot, send the right hand out from the shoulder in a hook hand, the left hand forward like you're doing a karate chop, and then lean your head to the left and nod back and forth. Speaking of karate, you're watching this video in the birthplace of karate. This is filmed on Okinawa, Japan, the tropical island of longevity. A really interesting meeting point of both Japanese and Chinese culture, although it's technically a Japanese country. There's been much influx of Chinese culture to this island due to its closer geography to China and Taiwan. You can see on my shirt the picture of the shamisen, traditional instrument often played here that you heard in some traditional Okinawan folk music at the beginning of this video. Come back to the center and press down. Let's take a deep breath, drawing up to the chest. And exhale, press down again. Now with your fingers pointing in towards each other, palms flat to the earth, spiral the fingers outwards and behind you, and then turn the head over one shoulder. Rotate back in, Open up, fingers point behind you, turn your head over the other shoulder. Pressing down through the palms as they rotate. Inhale back to the center, fingers point in. Exhale, fingers rotate out and behind, turning the head at the same time now. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, rotate. We're sort of standing taller as the hands press down. Exhale, relax. Inhale, palms press down, and the chest and head lift. Nice one to loosen up the neck in a twisting direction. Also, again, loosening up the muscles and tendons through the arms. All these upper body stretches great for desk workers, anybody who has to work hunched over, any of us who look at our phone a little too much, those who sleep, get bad sleep. If I wake up with a kinked neck, all these are so good for clearing all that tension and pain associated with repetitive stress. And of course, these are thought to open the meridians that bring chi to the internal organs. Let's take another inhale, draw it up. And exhale, settle it down. Good, relax, notice how you feel. Let's get lined up, make sure the feet are about shoulder width. We're standing up nice and tall. This next one's called the anchor drops to the bottom of the sea. We're going to begin rounding the spine one vertebra at a time, starting with the neck, then the upper back, then the mid back, then the lower back. And then finally the hips start to hinge and the knees will be slightly bent. We imagine our hands are like heavy anchors drawing us down to the sea floor. Allow your neck and back muscles to relax so that the weight of your head and chest decompresses your spine. The knees are just bent enough that we don't feel a stretch in the hamstrings. Stretch is more meant for the back and spine rather than the hamstrings. Take a nice deep breath, and then we'll tuck the tailbone, bend the knees, and start to roll our way back up, this time trying to stack the spine one vertebra at a time from bottom to top. So starting with stacking the lower spine on top of the tailbone, then the mid spine on the low spine, then the upper spine, then the neck, then the head. Take a nice deep breath here. And we'll begin to move the spine with more fluidity, the movement we call the wave. So here what we're doing is sending the hips forward, and then driving the hips back, hinging at the hips as the knees bend, then pushing the hips forward. As the hips go back, the chest is coming forward. As the hips go forward, the chest comes back slightly. A little wave comes up the body. As you go up, you can feel your chin tucking. As you go down, lift your chin. Tuck your chin to come up, and lift the chin to come down. Feel like a wave is traveling from the earth up through the legs, hips, spine, and neck. We'll come back to neutral and then go the other way, tucking the chin to come down and then lifting the chin to come up. Tuck the chin. Feel like you're diving down the front of your body. And then lift your chin and arch your back to come up. Here the hips are pushed forward, then they drive back as we go down. As we come up, the hips are driving forward. As we go down, the hips start to drive back. Here imagine that the wave is going the opposite direction now, like the wave travels down the body from the head down to the feet. We'll add a motion with the hands now that might make this even a little easier. We scoop forward like we're gathering mist, clouds. And then we bring the back of the hands towards each other and pour down the front of the body as though those clouds had turned to rain or waterfall that was pouring down the front of the body. Then we sort of follow the hands with the face. So as the hands go down, you look down, follow the hands to come down. Sometimes it also helps to think of the way a sea mammal swims, the way a dolphin or a sea lion swims. sort of mirroring their pattern in the spine on this movement. We're going to come back to the center. Next one is called the snake sheds its skin. We're going to start with the feet together and the hands in prayer. We're going to unfold the hands and open the chest, opening to the sky, and then come back to neutral and squeeze in towards the chest, then press down towards the dantian. Next, we'll take the back of the hands towards each other, draw up to the chest, and unfold the back of the hands towards the earth as we hinge forward from the hips, bending the knees softly, sweeping past the earth with the fingertips, bringing the back of the hands back towards each other and rolling up, drawing up and opening the chest towards the sky again, gathering a big chi ball, pressing it in and down towards the belly. It's a really good one to clear stress. So let's add our breath here, inhaling as we draw up, and exhaling with a sigh as we release our stress and tension to the earth like a snake shedding its skin. Circle back of the hands towards each other and breathe in through the nose as we roll our way up. Press the hips forward, open up. Exhale, gather in. Press down to the dantian. Inhale, stagnant chi bubbles up. Exhale with a sigh to release. Inhale, rolling back up. Open the chest. Exhale, gather in and down. Inhale, drawing up to the chest now. And exhale, simply pressing down. Inhale, drawing up to the chest. Stepping out, back shoulder width. And exhale, press down. Begin to shake your arms and shake your whole body. Shaking tension out of the muscles, stagnation out of the lymph and chi. Take a few breaths in your nose and let them out in your mouth with a sigh as you shake. Clearing any blockages to the flow of energy and fluid through the body. Notice anywhere in your body you can relax into that shaking. We'll slow down. Notice how we feel. Check our feet. We want a shoulder width stance roughly. Think about floating your crown and sinking your tailbone, elongating the spine as we prepare for our mindful movement flows. So up until now, our purpose has been largely physical in this routine. From here, we're going to focus a little more on the energy itself. First, lining the body up, finding the breath natural through the nose, closing the lips. We'll begin to inhale as we draw the hands up, and exhale as we float forward and down. This one is called the baby bird learns to fly. We inhale the back of the hands towards each other, then exhale forward and down. Inhale, the elbows lift to bring the hands up. Then the elbows drop to bring the hands forward and down. And you'll notice there's a subtle version of the wave motion we did earlier in this routine. Here's the hands come down. We're sinking the hips down and back slightly. As we come up, we push the hips slightly forward, and a subtle wave rolls its way up the spine, And then down the arms to the fingertips. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. Linking the breath and movement gradually helps us to become more present with the motion, present in our body, present with our sensations. Inhaling up. Exhaling forward, breathing slowly through the nose. And we're going to float the hands up to the sides. This one has a funny translation. It seems to translate to the big guy. I like to call it the jellyfish. That certainly seems like what it looks like. Again, the inhale brings the hands up. Exhale brings the hands down. Think of the elbows slightly leading. The elbows lift up first, and then the elbows drop first. And again, we have a slight rolling wave up the spine. We're rolling up, pushing the hips forward, and then sinking the hips slightly back as the hands come down. I feel like the movement is a wave of energy that comes up from the earth, up the feet, legs, spine, and continues all the way out the arms to the fingertips. The more you practice Qigong, the more you'll feel these movements as though they're not a result of muscular contraction as much as the result of this Qi force moving through the body. You'll feel it go all the way to your fingertips. Now step back with the right foot, or really either foot. It doesn't really matter too much on this one. And as we shift forward, we're going to push from the hips and the dantian area. And as we shift back, we're just going to roll the hands back like we're rolling over a big ball. Exhale as we push forward. And inhale like we're rolling over a big ball, rolling the ball backwards, back into the chest and then down to the belly. This one is called pushing waves. So if you imagine what it would be like to use Qi to push these gentle ocean waves along, finding slow, deep breaths, inhaling back, exhaling forward. We're going to step that back foot back up, press down, we'll repeat on the other side, stepping the other foot back. Inhale as we roll back on the ball. Exhale as we press forward, pressing from the lower abdomen and inhaling back up to the chest. Pushing waves. Nice one to cultivate a sense of groundedness and tranquility. Nice to feel the Qi through the lower body here, the legs, the arms, coordinating with the movement of breath and Qi. Cultivating that feeling of presence more than anything in Qigong, more than moving the Qi through a special channel. We want to cultivate a feeling of presence of the mind and body coming together. Step back in, press down, and hold a Qi ball now at the lower abdomen. Let's say with the left hand on top and the right hand on the bottom, holding a Qi ball roughly the size of a maybe small volleyball or a large grapefruit. The dantian is between the pelvis and the navel, so that's roughly where we're holding the ball. This one is called Pebble in the Pond. It's a variation of that exercise with one hand instead of two. So here that left hand goes out and around and then comes under the ball, and the right hand flips to the top. Then the right hand goes out around to the left, like it's going over the surface of water. around to the right, and then as it comes in, it goes under the ball, and the left hand switches to the top. So we just keep crossing over. Left hand crosses over to the right, circles around to the left, and then comes in under the ball, and the right hand's at the top now. The hand at the top of the ball is, of course, face down. So that's the hand that goes out, like it's brushing the surface of water with the palm. Inhale as we come to the center. Exhale as we reach out. Inhale to the center. Exhale to reach out like we're pulsing ripples out over the water from our dantian. This is a nice one to build the dantian. Building the dantian creates a sense of anchoredness and tranquility within. The energy of the dantian is also mirrored in the kidneys. So when we build the qi at the dantian, we also build the kidney qi. Let's come back to that qi ball and just pause, notice the breath and sensation in the dantian region. Then we'll close by floating the hands over the head and drawing downwards for pulling down the sky. We'll do 3 times, exhaling down and inhaling up. Exhaling through the nose. And inhaling up. As you come down, you can scan through your body head to toe, using your hands to guide awareness through the body. Then a different variation, working on the central channel. The hands will cross the centers of the palms over the crown of the head. Then we're going to guide the qi downwards through the center line, guiding those palms down in front of the body until they get to the lower dantian. Then they separate, float up with an inhale, across the centers of the palms, directing the attention into the crown of the head, and then exhale as you direct the attention down the midline of the body, all the way to the lower dantian. And of course, qi follows attention. So as we practice in this way, gradually the qi will also learn to travel this pathway. Important to keep the tongue touching the roof of the mouth here to help this channel descend the qi down. Pausing at the dantian, fold one hand on top of the other and touch the tips of the thumbs. Let your tailbone sink, your knees soften, the crown of your head float. And once again, allow your breath to naturally sink and deepen towards the lower abdomen, and the awareness to follow the breath there, resting like a pebble at the bottom of the ocean. Fold the hands over each other, stepping in and allow the body to rock and sway. And here you can just more generally be aware of the body, releasing any muscular tension, allowing the body to rock and sway. This release of tension is what allows the qi to flow through the body. It also helps the blood circulation when we're relaxed in our muscles. And this helps in all sorts of healing and recovery, allowing energy and nutrients to move freely through the body, for all the organs and cells to communicate. Step back out and circle the belly, gathering the qi to our center. Any extra qi we've built, we store in this dantian, this battery, the battery of the dantian, the battery of the kidneys and adrenal glands. As we build this foundation of energy here, we have more willpower, more inner strength, more peace of mind, more emotional stability. Let's center it into that point that special point we call the dantian, just below the navel, the inside of the body. Pausing there. Resting the attention there. And take your hands into prayer. And just set an intention for what to do with this energy we've cultivated. Take a deep breath in, and whenever you're ready, let go with a big sigh. Hope you enjoyed that practice, that you enjoyed the magic of the tropical island of Okinawa, Japan. If you enjoyed this practice, I have many videos just like it, filmed in beautiful locations all over the world at this point. So feel free to follow the YouTube channel here. And of course, if you'd like to go deeper, you can subscribe to the membership here on YouTube. I have a big library of previous classes there. I also do live classes here on YouTube, so watch out for those. You can even go get my free Qigong Beginners course on my website when you sign up for my newsletter. So look for that link below. Grab my free course. And of course, whenever you're ready, I have an online teacher training program. I usually run it 2 or 3 times a year, so you can check for the date of whatever the next one is. And perhaps we'll see you there one day. Thanks so much for watching. May the Qi be with you.